How are you today? Can you believe that this is the last week of term? I can't. In my assembly today, I'd like to share some of the wonderful spring festivals that people around the world will be celebrating next weekend. The first spring festival that I would like to share with you is Holi. Holi is a Hindu festival. It is taking place next weekend from Sunday the 28th of March to Monday the 29th of March. Holi celebrates spring, love and new life. Some families hold religious ceremonies. Holi is a time for fun. It is a colourful festival with dancing, singing and throwing of powder paint and coloured water. Holi is also known as the Festival of Colours. Holi marks the arrival of spring and the end of winter. On the first night of Holi, people light bonfires and throw roasting grains, popcorn, coconut and chickpeas into them. The next day, people of all ages go into the streets for fun and paint throwing. Everyone gets involved. Hindus have fun smearing each other with paint and throwing coloured water. What do the Holi colours mean? Some people believe that Holi colours come from Krishna, mischievously throwing coloured water over his milkmaids when he was a boy. This developed into the practical jokes and games of Holi. What is the story of Holi? Holi also celebrates the Hindu god Krishna and the legend of Holika and Prahlad. I'm going to show you a short video which tells you a little bit more about this story.
The Hindu festival of Holi. It's Holi! Holi is a very special time in my community. It's the ancient Hindu festival of colour, which marks the beginning of spring and celebrates love, new beginnings, and the triumph of good over evil. Holi is celebrated by Hindus and non-Hindus alike all over the world, but the biggest events take place in India and Nepal. It's a 2-day celebration, and it's a lot of fun. The festival begins with Holika Dahan, when special bonfires are lit to celebrate the legend of Holika and Prahlad. Hindus believe in the religion Hinduism. In Hinduism, there are many gods and goddesses, called deities. But according to the story of Holika and Prahlad, there was once an evil demon king called Hiranyakashipu, who took control of the kingdom of earth and forced everyone to worship only him. His son, Prahlad, refused. He remained faithful to the god Vishnu instead, and that made Hiranyakashipu really angry. So, Hiranyakashipu tried lots of different ways to get rid of Prahlad for good. He tried throwing him in a well, trampling him with elephants, and poisoning him with snakes. But nothing worked. So, eventually, he asked his demon sister, Holika, to help. Holika had a special shawl, which meant that she couldn't be hurt by fire. So, one day, she made Prahlad sit on a burning fire with her. But, as the flames took hold, Prahlad started to pray to Lord Vishnu, and the shawl protected Prahlad instead. Holika was destroyed in the fire, but Prahlad was left unharmed. Good triumphed over evil. The day after Holika Dahan is called Rangwali Holi. It's a big day, filled with lots of celebrations. There's traditional music, lots of dancing, and lots of colourful powder. The powder is called gulal, and it's not just for fun. We cover each other in colours to celebrate the love story of Radha and Krishna. Krishna is a Hindu god. When he was a child, he fell in love with a girl called Radha, who had fair skin. Krishna wondered why he had dark skin, but Radha didn't. He asked his mother, Yashoda. Rather than answering his question, she told him to apply coloured powder to Radha's face and see it change. He did, and so the tradition was born. Today, we put gulal on each other at Holi as a sign of love, and each colour also has a special meaning. Blue represents the gods. Yellow represents knowledge and learning. Red signifies love and fertility. And green represents nature and the start of spring. Holi is a special time when people from all backgrounds come together to celebrate love, happiness, and new beginnings. And that's why I love Holi.
Doesn't Holi sound like the best fun? I hope that all of our Hindu families celebrating next weekend have a joyous time. We're going to move on now to another festival that's taking place this weekend, the Spring Festival. This festival is a Jewish festival, and it's the festival of Passover. Next weekend sees the start of the Jewish festival of Passover. And Passover is one of the most important dates in the Jewish calendar. At Passover, Jewish people remember a story from a very long time ago. You can read the story in the book of Exodus in chapter 12 or in the Hebrew Bible called the Torah. What is the story of the Passover? Over 3,000 years ago, a group of Jewish people called the Israelites were being kept in slavery by the ruler of Egypt called Pharaoh. A man called Moses went to see Pharaoh many times to ask him to let them go, but Pharaoh refused. Moses told them that if he didn't release them, God would make terrible things called plagues happen to the Egyptians. But Pharaoh didn't listen, so the plagues came. These 10 plagues included the river Nile turning to blood, frogs covering the land, insect infestations, Egyptians getting skin diseases, the sun stopped shining, and the firstborn child in Egyptian families being killed by an angel. God is said to have told Moses to tell the Israelites to paint lamb's blood on their doorposts. This way, the angel would know that Jewish people lived there. It would pass over that house and not kill their firstborn child. This is where the name Passover comes from. How is Passover celebrated? Well, Passover celebrations last for several days. People clean their houses very carefully to make sure that they get rid of any crumbs of shamatas. At the beginning of Passover, in the evening, family and friends will get together for a meal and a special service called a Seder. There's a special Seder plate which has certain things on it. A lamb bone. This symbolises the sacrifice and blood from the lamb used on the doorposts. A roasted egg. This is a symbol of sacrifice. but also of the Israelites' determination when they were going through such a difficult time. A green vegetable to dip in salt water. The green vegetable is a reference to new life, while the salt water symbolizes the Israelite slaves' tears. Bitter herbs, often horseradish. This symbolizes the bitter suffering that the Israelites had to go through. And choriset, a paste of chopped apples, walnuts and wine. And this is a symbol of the material used by Israelites to make bricks whilst they were working.
For our special Pesach meal, the Seder, there are special foods to be prepared.
The whole year has gone. You've done well, Elaine. It looks lovely. Thank you.
Well, it's lovely to see everyone here to celebrate the Seder again. And to start us off on the story of the Seder, as we do every year, Adam, do you want to sing the Manishtana, please?
All right. Manishtana halal haze mikol halailot. Mikol halailot.
Right, Adam, to find out why this night is different from all other nights, let's start to read the story. Avodim hayinu lefaro b'mitzrayim, vayotzienu Hashem Elokeinu misham biyad chazaka uvizroa natuya.
Long, long ago, the Jewish people lived in the land of Egypt. The ruler of Egypt was a man called Pharaoh. Pharaoh was afraid that the Jewish people were becoming too powerful and that they would turn against him. So he took their freedom away and made them slaves.
We dipped parsley into salt water because the Jewish people cried when they were slaves and their tears were salty.
Pharaoh forced our people to work in the hot sun. They pulled large, heavy stones and made bricks from clay.
This mixture reminds us of the mortar which the Jewish slaves mixed up to build bricks. Charoset is made from ground almonds, apples and wine.
The Jewish slaves built great towns and cities for Pharaoh. The work was hard and dangerous, and the slaves were not allowed to rest. It was a very bitter time for the Jewish people.
We remember the bitterness of slavery by eating bitter herbs like horseradish.
God told Moses, the leader of the Jewish people, to go to Pharaoh and say, "Let my people go free." But Pharaoh's heart was as cold as ice. He answered, "No." Moses warned Pharaoh that unless he let them go, terrible things would happen to the Egyptians. And they did. The river Nile turned to blood. Frogs covered the land. The air was filled with flies. Wild beasts roamed the land. Animals died. The Egyptians got diseases. Huge hailstones fell, destroying the crops. When the crops grew again, locusts ate them. The sun stopped shining. It was night all the time. Again Moses pleaded with Pharaoh, but Pharaoh wouldn't listen. Then came the last and most terrible plague of all. Egyptian children began to die, even Pharaoh's own son. But the Jewish people were unharmed. That is how this festival of Pesach, or Passover, got its name. Danger passed over the houses of the Jewish people. Finally, Pharaoh gave in and he let the Jewish people go. In a rush, they left their morning work. They packed a few belongings and left as fast as they could. The slaves didn't have time to let their bread rise. They carried it on their backs, and the sun baked it into a crisp wafer.
We eat matzah to remind us of the slaves' unleavened bread.
Finally, after 200 years of slavery, the Jewish people were free. Led by Moses, they began the long journey back to their homeland.
Next Sunday, Christians around the world will be celebrating Palm Sunday. And Palm Sunday is the start of a very special week known as Easter week or Holy week. I know that in class this week you'll be exploring the Easter story and celebrating this very special Christian festival. So whatever your faith, I hope that you all enjoy your very special spring festivals.